greenjarsmoothie@gmail.com.
Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending upon where you are on the globe. Happy Tuesday, extending a virtual rose and love from a distance. This is going to be, this time I promise, a very quick broadcast, and it is to address the ladies and also any of the men who may echo some of the same sentiments. Thank you, Queen Regina. I understand you are very busy, and I appreciate this. Again, this is going to be very brief. Some of this information you may know, some you may not, but yesterday I did a live, and let me put this up. And Jenny, I received your message, and I'm not calling you out per se, but the first portion of your message indicated, which is very important, that many people did not realize that I was the quote unquote lupus lady. And every time I say that, it makes me cringe. But Jenny, your second message, which I removed because actually that was a mistake on my part. I should have left it up so people could understand. And to those from Facebook, again, thank you, family. You all have been rocking with me strong for almost 2 years now. And on a platform there of about 16,000 compared to the small platform that I have here on YouTube. I have never encountered the issues, if you will. But again, it is well and it will be taken care of. But back to you, Miss Jenny. Again, thank you for letting me know that you were disgusted in some of the insults hurled my way. But the second part of your message, you did the same thing, whether you were aware of it or not. Your statement was, and hopefully it hasn't been deleted completely, but I try to stay away from all negative energy if at all possible. It is not possible at all times. But you went on to say that pregnant pauses, meaning trying to listen to me speak during a 3-hour live with counts of 10 seconds between words. So that tells me, and again, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected, but I know what I read. 10 seconds between words. Ma'am, I have lupus with lung disease. Both of my lungs are affected. Queen, you're a nurse. This is what I'm working with. And I have another pulmonary function test tomorrow because the treatments being received is only to slow the progression, which really hasn't been effective. Now, that is something that I don't need to share, but I'm going to share to hopefully get people to understand to please think before you make any statements that are entirely insensitive. So, Jenny, if you do not like, or if it's torturous, and that's the word that you used, torturous, to have to listen to pauses between my words, then don't listen. Do you know how difficult it is and has been to be able to speak without coughing during a sentence? So I have to pace myself when I speak. And if it is torturous to you and your message indicated you want to support my platform, don't. Don't. If you're going to support, you support whether it's good or bad. I cannot help my health condition. And here's a little bit more, because some of you women are getting the old me come out, where I will curse you up and down, left and right, based on being insensitive, ignorant, and some of you just plain stupid. But I do not want to lower myself to your level, but I am bringing attention to it. So if it is bothersome to you that I have to make sure my breathing is in sync because I have a life-threatening issue, and again, this is what I'm working with, not both, but 2 lungs, then damn it, don't listen. You go back and listen to other narratives. That's what you can do. Secondly, I had to deal with this yesterday. I will be here to support when I can. When you can, well, I guess that's in the middle of listening to other platforms, spewing narratives, or that supported to the denigration and disparaging and ugly remarks by one person that is spewed out and, as I've said, has gone off into weeds and parasites and other groups. Excuse me. to those that find my coughing a bothersome nuisance to them. If that bothered you, then again, don't listen. But again, as you can see, I will be here to support when I can, but sometimes hearing you talk reminds me of my mother, so it's kind of hard. Okay, again, my prayers to you and your mother. I totally understand, but it's kind of like an oxymoron. You can't really listen to me, but you can listen to other narratives. Okay, next one that I had to deal with on my own platform. So you blocked me. Oh, okay. My other comment disappeared. No, ma'am, none of them disappeared. And I scrolled up. I took time out on my message just to prove to you, which I should not have had to do, that I did not block you, nor any of your messages disappeared. You probably didn't see them because it was on a slow mode. What would be the purpose of me blocking you? That's probably pretty small. But again, I'm up here explaining myself, feeling like I'm on the stand being interrogated on my own platform where the words lame was placed out there and subs. This isn't about subs. This is about my damn life. So to me, in my opinion, you've proven to me where you stand, because you should have not, in my opinion, even asked me any questions like that and then promote your foundation without the drama. Wow. This is how people respect my platform, by telling me what I should do and how to run it. Let me check these comments really quickly, because again, this is my break, and I just wanted to go over this. Absolutely spread the word. Absolutely. This is what I had to hear from a woman whose mom had experienced something similar. So this is what I don't quite understand. I mean, I understand it. I'm not going to speak for anyone. Thank you, spread the word. I don't need your subs or your membership. They are nice, yes, but if it comes with a condition and it's not support, that's a disservice not only to me, but those in the lupus community. Lastly, and again, this is going on my own platform by women. It's bad enough I'm fighting tooth and nail. Some I have shared with you, others that I cannot, because it is legal issues. And of course, anytime you're dealing with legal issues, that could implicate many people, but some of you men, and if you take it this the wrong way, too bad. You have kahunas. You have kahunas to get up and hold all of these panels and speak about several different women, then be able to face what it is you speak on panels inside the witness panel, if you will. So keep that in mind. And yes, it's an element of danger, but you brought this on yourself. I've extended links to discuss. You've chosen not to. Many of you have my emails. You choose not to do that. Do you think that I'm going to take that information and blurt it out everywhere? I've had your emails for months now. Have you seen me post anything like that? Absolutely not. So you are entitled to think what you want to think. But if you look at my community posts or any of the slides that I put up now, none of you, especially the 3 that I mentioned yesterday, I have your email addresses. I have your Cash Apps. Do you see me posting any of that? That would make me worse than some of the people that you support. So be clear. I don't roll like that. Lastly, this is the email received by someone I sent a gift card to. Now, in my mind, and I could be incorrect, but if I'm giving something, that's a gift. And this is a response. And because I can't really see the top due to the indications from Facebook and YouTube, there was no hello or good morning, no salutation. It just went into, I received a card. It is not a gift card. It was a prepaid debit card, which was worth more than the gift cards I sent out to other people, mind you. I'm not getting the money. There was a restriction on it, and they wanted a copy of my state ID and social security number. It's too much. As I explained to that individual, I was not aware of that. Had I known that, I would have done something different. And I did. I went out and got another. In the future, and again, this is someone not suggesting, but telling me what to do. In the future, please make sure to get and send people actual gift cards and not prepaid debit cards. They got personal information, but wanted more. Well, damn. Here I am thinking I'm doing a good thing. So it's, to me, in my opinion, damned if I do, damned if I don't. I don't have to do anything. I do it to show my appreciation. But this is what I get in return. In the future, please make sure to get that really got me. In the future, please make sure to get and send people actual gift cards, not prepaid debit cards. Wow. So that's what I'm dealing with. And these are women. These are women. No, you can't make this up. And that same woman has been gifted by Ronald Jones and myself several times through Cash App. Several times. Did you join my team for free for lupus? It's been up for several months now. No. Have you donated $1 to lupus? It's been up for a couple of months now. No. But you're going to tell me, not suggest, but tell me what to do. Again, some of you, not all, some of you need to look up this word and understand it, and understand how it makes a person on the other hand who is dealing with real life and at the same time trying to be careful in making sure they're protected as well as their household. And instead of having complete support, I have to listen to negative remarks. Well, I don't have to, but these are the remarks that I've received. So again, Jenny, thank you for recognizing that I'm the one with the tag of lupus lady, and you felt sick about some of the grotesque remarks hurled, but then you turned around and your second message, which was highly offensive to me, that I make pregnant pauses in between words. Ma'am, I do that because I have 2 scarred lungs. And if I do not pace myself, or if I get a little bit upset, or if I breathe in like they're mowing the lawn now, and I hope that it doesn't come in because my door is open, that could cause me to cough and perhaps wheeze. That is why I take my time when I speak. Number one, to make sure what it is I'm saying is clear, to make sure that I enunciate my words as clearly as possible. And number three, so that people, excuse me, Jenny, I'm about to cough. Excuse me. I hope my coughing wasn't torturous to you as well. But your statement also indicated that you want to support me, but having to listen to that is torturous. Well, thank you for letting me know that that's torturous. But again, you do have the option not to listen. And to the other woman, you need to go into prayer. And it's on the replay. You can see everything that was said in reference to being lame, and can't I see that I'm doing the same thing as others? What am I doing other than explaining what it is that I've dealt with? And that this was pointless. It's not pointless to me. Thank you, Queen Regina. Thank you. So that is what I wanted to speak about. And let me make sure that I do not, by error, because it seems to me that my words, my speech, my pauses are being critiqued. So I'm making sure that everyone who has made a comment is posted. So anyone else, any other women or men that is cut from the same ilk, does not inaccurately believe that I've blocked them or deleted any of their comments. Because if you go through the chat replay, you will see that was incorrect. I did not block that woman. Every comment she made, whether I agreed upon it or not, it was not erased. That's my link if anyone wants to say anything really quickly. If not, that's the end of what I have to say on that. But some of you women, you really, really need to check yourselves. That's not my place to do. I brought attention to it because I found it extremely insensitive and cruel. This is my reality. Pneumonia, I get it every year, sometimes twice. Each time I get that, more and more of my lungs are damaged. That's irreversible. Shortness of breath, cough, chest pain, fatigue. It's right there. This is my reality. This is my reality. So I'm sorry. I can't speak quickly like some people. I can't sizz through commentary like some people that you listen to. And in my opinion, allegedly agree with. I'm sorry, but this is the hand I was dealt. And again, you do have the option of not to listen. And what I spoke of yesterday had absolutely nothing to do with a sub count. I am speaking about my life, my reality. So for that individual to even put that in there is beyond me. Thank you. The dark areas, Queen, is that's part of my rib cage. But where you see the white, that's where the scarring is. And it's actually moved up, which means it's actually harder to breathe. And one of my broadcasts, maybe about a month or so ago, it's now manifested into scleroderma. So, Jenny, who finds it torturous to listen to my pauses, that manifestation has made it even worse. And we haven't even gotten to how that can be treated, if it can be treated. I don't like traditional medicines. Now, I have to take prednisone, but it's on a tapered basis where they will increase it and then it's tapered down. I have a nebulizer, which I hate because of the solution. It makes me jittery and I have to work during the day. And then when I'm out, I have to deal with that. And I have an inhaler. I have to take 50,000 IU units of vitamin D, which comes into a green tablet. I've been doing that for over 1 year and a half. My vitamin D has remained under 30, which means my body's rejecting prescription strength. And that's a high level dosage of vitamin D. So again, people, stop. Please stop being insensitive. If you don't like the fruit that I bear, don't shake the tree, or simply don't listen. Subscribe and listen to others that you have seen by proof that has been presented in black and white, by receipts that cannot be refuted. So you go back and listen to those larger platforms that, in my opinion, are in true damage control mode. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because this has gone back since February. Not March, but February. And the attack started back in December. So again, good luck with that. Absolutely, Queen. Absolutely. Fortunately for me, I have not dealt with pleurisy in maybe 5 or 6 years. That, oh my God, had me with a temperature of almost 103 degrees. And it took every fiber of my being. And I was at that time alone, meaning nobody was around. I had to shower, dress, get myself to the car, and to urgent care. And that seemed like it took 8 hours, even though it wasn't 8 hours. That's how long it seemed like it took. Yes, there's systemic, there's discoid, and lupus nephritis. Selena Gomez has lupus. Toni Braxton, who is also from the Maryland area, has lupus. It affects her heart. Nick Cannon has lupus. Affects his kidneys. Selena Gomez actually had a kidney transplant. She's very young, and these are celebrities. So if they ever have issues with their lungs or any organs, the likelihood of them being able to get on these lists for transplants and the possibility of them having the best health care should be obvious to many people. Seal, he has a scar on his face. That's discoid lupus. That's lupus of the skin. So yes, there are many types of lupus. There are many. Thank you, Divide and Conquer. Even though you just show up with your eyes and then you roll out. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Western Star. I have a friend in Baltimore who um, she, I don't really want to call her elder, but I'll just say she's over the age of 60. And when you see this woman, you will not believe her age. I will not give it. I don't even know it. But she is an active grandparent. She has a handsome son that I remember when I worked at NIH years ago, who is a grown man. He is a Morgan State University graduate. He pledged, he pledged, I think, Q Sci Phi, and he's married with two beautiful, beautiful sons. She is good friends with Jada Pinkett's aunt, who has lupus, and she's been trying to coordinate my speaking with her. So if that goes well, that may be something special for this platform so that people will understand. Ears is in here. Hey there, ears. Thank you. And I heard you earlier, and you're absolutely right. I heard about the community post. And again, that was actually funny about warning people. And you're absolutely right on the money. If you are not guilty about anything, what are you warning them for? And again, I have all that information, emails, cash apps that I've sent. But again, I don't roll like that. I've had it for months. I've conversed with people for months. So again, anything that I'm working on, that's something is the least of your worries. My focus is on South Carolina and Georgia. Now, there are subpoenas, but I can say you all aren't involved. Others, unfortunately, are, and it's not to hurt them, it's to build a platform. And there are attorneys that are looking at individuals and or businesses to help lay the platform. So just keep that in mind before you get all hunched up and on these missions or whatever it is you think that you may be doing. Gift cards that I've sent to people. You don't see any addresses posted up. This is why I said, because you do not know me, leave an alternate address or a post office box, because there are some people out there that are janky like that. I'm in a position of public trust. I wouldn't do that. Now, if the lawyers need to go and do something that they deem is necessary, they will take their own resources. That has nothing to do with me. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But when you sit there, in my opinion, and start placing out warnings, whether you realize it or not, and fear, and I'm not saying that anyone is in fear, but just in my experience, when you feel the need to do that, it can be construed as fear or guilt. And again, it may not be either of the two, but I'm just saying to you what it looks like. Absolutely, Queen. And every time I have an issue, the first thing that they will test is called the D-dimer. And being a nurse, I know you know what that is. I always test positive for a D-dimer, not because I have a clot, but because of the lupus. So a lot of tests that I have to undergo are extremely exhausting, daunting, time consuming, but as professionals, it is protocol that all of those tests are administered to rule out just in case. But I've never had a pulmonary embolism. Thank God I have enough to deal with. And again, there is people who are out there mowing and cutting branches and things of that nature because of the storms that we have had these last few days. So again, my apologies for the noise in the background to those that are offended by noise or my pausing between sentences. And I really feel foolish that I have to actually say this. Absolutely. Queen is on the money. D Dimer. Also, when I have my CT test with contrast, that means I am placed on that little bed, and a lot of people get paranoid. I used to, but once I'm on that bed and I go through that little machine, I'm always in prayer. But contrast is when they will insert an IV and they'll place a solution, which is iodine, which will light up the area in your body, which they will then determine if there's any type of activity going on. Because a lot of times, pneumonia and those with respiratory issues, please know that if you have pneumonia, sometimes a basic chest x-ray will not pick up on pneumonia because there are several different types of pneumonia. So those tests where they insert the dye and those areas are actually illuminated, that is where pneumonia can be detected. And that is where some of mine, thank God, has been detected and was able to be treated timely, because that is something you do not want. And even after the initial pneumonia is over with, that is in your system between 3 and 6 months. Thank you, Queen. Absolutely. So those are just a few of the things that I have to deal with. And a lot of times I'm having those procedures done when I'm on YouTube listening or either typing in. So some of you don't even realize what I'm going through daily, plus work, plus baking, plus serving people. I try very hard to keep myself busy so I don't have to think about all of the things that I'm dealing with. Because if I continue to do that, it will put me into a depression. And quite honestly, anybody dealing with a health situation and then harassments and threats and then just simple ignorant remarks from some of these misguided women, that can be a lot. That can take a toll on anyone, at least in my opinion. We make sure that I get everyone in here because again, I do not want. What did Carl Belton say? Carl Belton says, my former union company, Southland, we did plumbing and sheet metal work at NIH. Yes, NIH is huge and they have satellite offices. I worked off of Executive Boulevard, not on the main campus, but on Executive Boulevard. But again, this was back in the day. So hopefully, let's see what Carl Belton says. I rather listen to people who talk slow and take their time than people whose tongues run 150 miles per hour. Well, Carl, again, it's a catch-22. And my mom always used to say, you will never be able to please everyone. And I'm not going to anymore. This is my platform. And if I ask for assistance, it should be on my platform. If that can't be accommodated, then I will just continue to do things solo. And it's okay. It's okay. Eventually, the goal is to raise lupus awareness and funds. I've raised some, not my goal, but I'm doing the work. Queen Regina says, may be helpful if there are concerns about complications as chest wall involvement. Yes, yes, where contrast enhancement may further help and delineate the extent of the complication. Absolutely, absolutely. Infection, inflammation, and edema. Absolutely. Right on the money. Well, thank you, Orange Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones, my first member, is here, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you. And thank you again, Ronald Jones, for that donation to Queen Regina for her birthday. And Queen Regina, again, happy birthday week, month, and year. Thank you for all you have done for so many people, even though there are other narratives out there. Your wrench is still there. You're still doing your thing. And to me, that's being selfless because you have other things. And we know, we have learned, I believe yesterday, we are on sync on a lot of things. I'm not going to bring that up. But Ronald Jones, I'm not going to call him, well, I'm not going to call the orange Ronald a wascally wabbit. Now, the other colors of Ronald definitely may be a little bit suspect in behavior, but he has been kind here, and he has been kind to the women here. So I cannot take that away from him. But I've seen him show his hind parts in other colors elsewhere. So long as he doesn't keep the orange Ronald, yes, the orange Ronald Jones. Yeah, I have to differentiate him by color. But again, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I had to deal with yesterday on my own platform. Last week, it was someone with a wrench that tried to take over. And yesterday, it was a woman. And then you saw the email telling me how to or what to buy as gift cards. Okay. And then Jenny, who first said she didn't realize I was the one with that awful label as lupus lady, but then in the second message, having to listen to pregnant quotes. Number one, that kind of, in my opinion, was not very kind in reference to those that may be pregnant. Pregnant pauses. And it's torturous for you to have to listen to. Again, I have to take my time. And some people would consider certain breathing techniques as purse snipping. And those are people with extreme lung disease or asthma related conditions. So again, even though I don't owe any apologies, I apologize to you that having to listen to me take my time and 10-second counts. You actually counted the seconds in which sentences and words were used. Now I know how somebody else feels about critiquing. But again, it's done because of the damage to my lungs, ma'am. And if you can't understand that, which clearly, if you understood lupus lady, in my opinion, an intelligent person or a prudent individual would have looked that up real quick to see everything that's involved with that. And maybe, just maybe, or unless I'm just giving too much credit to some of you, you would have understood how it could affect some. Remember, there was a time I could not walk. I had to learn how to do a lot of things that people take for granted all over again. So the fact, even though my voice isn't as strong as it used to be, the fact that I can see, that I can smell, that I can hear, that I can do basic things without the aid of anyone else. And there are many people that need aid from other people. So my prayers are out for them because I can't imagine how that must be. I'm thankful. So please stop and think before you say certain things. Practice saying certain things out loud and think how the person on the receiving end may feel after they hear it or see it. That's just a wisdom key. What you do with it, you can either place it into a door or throw the key away. But that's how I think. You don't have to agree. I'm saying Ronald Jones has many different accounts, and his different accounts come in different colors. I've seen a brown Ronald Jones. I've seen a purple Ronald Jones. I've seen a red Ronald Jones. I think I may have even seen a gray Ronald Jones, but the orange Ronald Jones, thank you, Queen Regina. I really appreciate that. Has been kind. Good old Carl Belton. Yes, the SOB. What is it? The SOS band. I can do it. Take my time. Thank you, Carl Belton. And I do. I take my time. I have to. And again, it may be frustrating to some people. Again, if it is, my apologies, but that is how it is unless treatments and after tomorrow's test, something else may be able to help. I don't know. This is what I have to deal with. This is what I have to deal with. So again, to those, and I echo Queen's sentiment, that have taken the baton and stood up for Black women and received insults, backlash, being called clowns, and talking about appearances. But some of you cannot show, or you refuse to show your face, even just one time, or a picture. That speaks volumes. This man shows pieces of his real life. He doesn't have to, but he does. He did not have to open this platform up to anyone, but he did. Whether you agree or disagree, as he said, he gave someone a voice. He gave someone a voice that presented truths, very transparent about personal issues that she didn't have to present to the world just to be attacked even more. Some of you are just so insensitive and jaded, in my opinion, or just, and I would hate to believe this is the truth, but maybe some of you are just riddled with hate, maybe hate from past hurts or disappointment, but that doesn't give you a right to deflect that on someone else, especially as men, and with the mission statement, if you will, that you're there to protect women and calling women queens, but then you're paying to see something that puts a queen in a bad light. Your words and your walk are not in alignment. Thank you, Western Star. It is okay. Carl Pelton, that's actually funny. He really does. But the orange one is okay. He's okay over here thus far. Until he shows me anything different, he's been good. And like I said, he's actually been kind to the women on here. So, Ronald, again, I have to thank you for that. Many men are not like that. Divide and Conquer has done the same thing. Yo Crazy Cousin, even though I have not seen him lately, he's also gifted to other people. So I must, to be fair, recognize him as well as donating their winnings to other people. So there are men out here, even though people may think one way, they have done good deeds, at least on this platform. And I recognize that. And again, I thank them for that. So let me go over this really quickly because it is now 1:08. But thank you to those members. And I'm sure, as you can see, there's only a few women in here. And at one time, there used to be more. It is well. It is well because to me, it shows, actions show everything. Anyone can say beautiful words, but your actions show the truth. So with that, let me go to the tippity top. Thank you, Miss Queen Regina. Happy birthday week. Happy birthday month. Thank you for taking on another role as a mod, taking time out of your day and your activities to assist. Very much appreciated in more ways than you know. Spread the word. Thank you also for being very supportive and positive. Thug Life Manning, thank you. Thank you as well for your support. Much appreciated. Ricardo Calendar, thank you. And I appreciate you for your support. Jade Lee, thank you. Thank you for your support. And Queen Regina, thank you for basically substantiating everything that I've said about lupus. So for those of you who have put this narrative out there, and I've seen it, and I'm not going to call you out, you know who you are. If this woman is not a nurse, and for those that have said that, again, Anybody in certain occupations, they have licenses. That's public record. So some of you who put that label that she wasn't a nurse, you may want to retract that. I'm not saying you should, but if it were me, I would do that. And everything that she just said about lupus and the things that I've dealt with and the test, if she wasn't a nurse and didn't know her stuff, she wouldn't have known any of this. So again, know what you're talking about before you make statements. Some of y'all still haven't learned that some of us are kicking draws deep into your asses with facts and your own words. And if lay people can do that, what the hell do you think lawyers, not associates, principals, managing partners will do to you? If, and that's the operative word, if the time comes. So you may want to think about that. Carl Belton, good old Carl Belton, thank you. Western Star, you're new, but thank you. Spread the word. I'm sorry, I didn't even see this question. Do I use oxygen at home? No, thank God. And honestly, I have already told my pulmonologist, if it ever got to that point, you may as well go ahead and execute my advanced directive. If I ever have to utilize oxygen, then I'll feel like, what was her name? Hilary Swank, who played in Million Dollar Baby. I've had enough taken from me. If I ever have to have oxygen at home, that's not going to happen. So you can just write it off and you won't see me online anymore. That, no, no. But to answer your question, no, I don't have to take that. Absolutely, scleroderma is also systemic. And it does involve the hardening and tightening of the skin. And again, until we can get results of this second pulmonary function test, which is extremely grueling. You're sitting in a chamber. They give you albuterol at first, but it'll make you jittery as hell. And then you have to go through a series of breathing tests. One with normal breathing, where your mouth is on this instrument and you have to take a deep breath. And this is going to be difficult because I'm already coughing, but they'll do it that way. And then they'll put a clamp on your nose where they're testing your obstructive and it's obstructive and I forgot the other word. Oh God, obstructive and restrictive breathing to see where you are, what your levels are. So then I'll have to wait for the results of those. And waiting for test results, that can also augment anxiety. So it's a lot. Shirley Kirkland, thank you. And thank you so much for your support and encouraging me to speak my truth, which I have, and you've seen the backlash. Yes, Carl Belton, there are some heartless people out here, but I do believe in a higher power, and it is not my place to judge. I believe he or whomever you identify with will render final judgment. Divide and Conquer, thank you for joining. Ears, again, thank you. And I hope your toe is okay. I saw that and I'm like, oh my God, I know that hurt. And let me make sure. I make sure. Ronald Jones, thank you to you as well. Make sure I did not miss anyone. I'm hoping and praying that I didn't. Carl Belton said, shaking my head, they gotta be tired of pulling out the. I don't think they are just yet, Carl Belton. I don't think they will until a black Suburban pulls up. Yes, I hate that, Queen. I know, Ears, but you don't deserve that. Nobody does. But if you're not on the side of right and if you're not actually exposing, then you wouldn't get backlash. And it's unfortunate. But again, personally, to you, directly from me, I thank you for allowing my voice. And as I mentioned, I was extremely apprehensive on doing so because I just knew, you know what, this is going to open up some more parasites from hiding out of the bushes or behind the walls or rocks or wherever they may be. And it did just that. However, that actually may be a good thing and it'll be necessary. Sometimes we need necessary evils. And for those of you with critical thinking skills, I'm not going to delve deep into that, but I'm sure you could catch that alley-oop. Sometimes you need necessary evils to prove. So with that, thank you to all that took time out to join and to comment, and to those that are listening in the bushes. I hope you are able to glean some important information and think about some of the things that you may have done and you may have said. I've already forgiven everyone, but I'm not going to forget. And to those that have made comments and that I've seen, most of you have my information. You can email me. It doesn't have to be public. Some people don't want to discuss things publicly. I understand that. I'm not a difficult person to work with. But please don't try to serve me. I don't eat meat, so don't try to serve me tofu and tell me that it's something else when I've actually seen you on platforms, woman up and man up, and just admit it. And we can move forward. But to hide it makes me raise an eyebrow to you. Please understand that. Just like I had to apologize to someone for a mistake I made, I was woman enough to do that. And that person does not have to forgive nor forget. I made that error, but I was woman enough to say something behind the scenes and publicly. See, that's the difference between me and a lot of people. So I'm just asking for the same thing in return. And if you do happen to grace my platform, respect it. And if you disagree or you have another perspective, I'm open to that. But all that yelling and hooping and hollering, I don't want to have to go through with that again. It's not a good look. It's a disservice to my health, and it's a disservice to what I'd like to see us as a people collectively do in the future. There are a lot of good things that can come from many different people, but you have to understand where they're coming from. And if you were wrong, just admit it. Do you know the amount of people that have been wrong about one another and now they're actually business partners and flourishing because they were men or women enough just to have a sit down one-on-one conversation without any other distractions. They were able to dialogue and come to an understanding and move forward. So if others can do that, there's no reason none of us can do that. Now, granted, some things cannot be salvageable. Some things cannot. When you disrespect the deceased, when you mock knowingly, let me be clear on that, knowingly mock any type of disease and the disabled, again, you can forgive. But I would never, and this is my opinion, others may think differently, would want that energy or anyone that supports anything like that around me, period. And those of you, I'm laughing, not laughing as in tee hee hee laughing, but laughing in disbelief that I actually had to have a dialogue like that with a woman on my platform, basically telling me how I should run it, how this is lame. Is it lame because you possibly were involved? Please know, many truths have already been disclosed and exposed. You can't backpedal. As Queen Regina says, she got it on video. I've got a lot on audio. And agencies, they have that video and audio too. So keep that in mind. Because when you talk about timelines, if someone were to look, and we already know nothing, absolutely clean, got him on video, nothing is truly erased. Attorneys can subpoena anything. And if you are calling Black women queens now, but November, December last year, you were calling them something different, just like in the movie Lean on Me, when little Sam's had to say to Mr. Clark, please don't expel me. And Mr. Clark asked him, well, why shouldn't I? And Sam said, I changed my ways. And one day, little Sam's changed his ways. Mr. Clark knew that he didn't, but he gave him a chance because he was a little kid. And as Mr. Clark said, he's a baby and on the streets still hasn't learned shit. That applies to some of you grown men. Change your ways. But the timeline is there. We're queens now, but Dusty and Lupa's lady, not even a year ago. How are you going to explain that and have someone believe that? Not even 6 months. Hey there, M Soul 17. Good old Mr. Clark. And that's just an analogy, but it's truth. It's true. If someone were to actually take the time out and look at timeline, and you're saying one thing now, but you go back not even a year, you don't think an eyebrow will be raised. You don't think other facets of your life will be looked at carefully. Facets of your life that none of us on YouTube know anything about. See, that's the dangers. And I heard someone, well, not heard, but saw someone say that's a dangerous game. No, sir. Some of these men have played dangerous games. So you can change online your stance now, how you feel about people. But what's your motivation for changing online? What we can see online. What are you doing offline? Some of you still could have criminal records. That's how patterns and foundations are put together. They're pieced together. I can sit back and say, I'm married to a guru. I don't have to do anything. And I could be in motel rooms or hotel rooms night after night, getting my bag that way. You all wouldn't know it. But guess what? If I were being investigated, they would know. And that would debunk what I present online that you can see. Whereas I'm living a double life that people online can't see. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If you're truly for the side of right, admit you're wrong and do the work. And no, it doesn't have to be publicized. But just be true. That's all I ask. Be true. But with that, you all enjoy this Tuesday. It looks very overcast again. Thank you, spread the word. Yes, please hit the like button. Or then again, if you feel as though you want to hit the like button, because again, I don't want, as someone suggested yesterday, this to be anything to do with subs or anything like that. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I will be listening to others at some point tonight or this evening, rather, when I'm on the road as well. But be safe, be well, and of course, be healthier in your minds, bodies, and spirits. Soul, thank you. Wanted to make sure that I did not miss anybody. I think that's it. So again, thank you all for listening. And again, women, please, please think about what you say to others before you make your comments, because they are extremely insensitive. And some of you behave worse than some of these men out here. And I've told you so many times about the transference of energy. When you sit and listen to negative energy, eventually it's going to encompass you. And that dialogue yesterday proved exactly that point. I'm not lame for telling my truth. I have promoted my foundation. And I'm sorry you felt as though there was drama. I was reacting to a video. Maybe you felt it was drama because maybe you had comments on another platform, and maybe you thought someone was calling you out directly. Maybe it was guilt, maybe not, I don't know. But I should not have had to have that dialogue with a woman on my platform who, in my opinion, was implying I run it a certain way. No. Mm-mm. I'll give you a podium to speak, but you will respect me. And to me, you did, and still, in my opinion, owe me an apology for that blatant disrespect on my platform. But as you said, you don't owe me anything. Okay, I had to accept that. But you do have to owe the Creator, who I believe sees all. You should know that you were wrong, even when to imply I blocked you. You were wrong. You never even apologized for assuming that. So that tells me, in my opinion, what type of individual, and I'm not even classifying you as a male or female. Definitely, I'm not classifying you as a woman, because women do not behave like that. But that's the least you could have done, and you didn't, and you had ample opportunity to do so. You all take care. Goodbye for now.